Sucking on a chili dog outside the Tasty Freeze. Sucking on a chili dog outside the Tasty Freeze. That one little phrase from Jack and Diane by John Cougar Mellencamp. I don't know why. I hear it in my head sometimes when I'm just doing chores, or like I'll try and sing it into other melodies and stuff. It's weird, man.
I agree. All right. Jeremy Fisher music. So that's that sums it up, right? You deep state little manipulated boy, Cougar. So he's a strange boy. You can pull this stuff up, and he bitches at people in the audience and walks off stage because they piss him off. Like, what's wrong with this picture, right? So I mean, I liked his music back in the day, but sometimes you just don't go political. He even says, I don't like Trump. Because I'm never going to play at his events because he'd be manipulating me. So the music industry never manipulated you? Okay. All right. So let me know who sucks food, right? Anybody? No one, all right? No one ever will be sucking food. Now, there's this one video that I highly recommend you guys watch. This is deep insight, right? It will impact you, right? So this is called the Beautiful Horror of Sinners. So I'd love to play you this, but on YouTube they'll ding me for playing stuff, even though we're promoting it. They don't look at it like that. You're like just stealing somebody's music, so I'm not going to do it. So I highly recommend you guys watch this. This is deep insight into the music industry. And someone that has incredible talent, it's like the dark side comes and finds them and wants to use them. So I think that happens, unfortunately, to a lot of musicians throughout time. And then they struggle with that. And they struggle with it, with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, so forth. But not many of them, unfortunately, survive it. But the ones that do, I think, completely embrace the dark side. And when they do, they get rewarded. But I think most people are not of that caliber. And they're just incredibly talented and beautiful musicians. And this dark energy just comes in to take it. We've seen that with everything. We've seen that with the political class. We've seen that with education, on and on and on. It's very, very troubling. But I think this movie, if you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. It's basically, let me read what this is about. Sinners 2025 this year, just recently came out. Director is Ryan Coogler. The plot is a black musician, soul-piercing blues music, and it is beautiful, beautiful music in here. It's worth the watch just to hear it. I mean, it just gives me chills just thinking about it. But you'll love it. Draws the attention of vampires who want him. It reminds me, I look at Gavin Newsom, and he looks like a vampire to me. So, I think I'm going to start to call him Gavin Vampire Newsom, right? So there's so many vampires out there, isn't there? It's very frustrating. But it talks about racism, black struggle, and the power of music. It's a beautiful film, and it has a supernatural, undertones. There's beautiful things that happen in this movie. People fighting for each other. Woo! It'll have you crying. All right. So kind of reminds me of my son, because he was incredibly gifted and he was haunted. Poor soul. All right. So Antifa's mask slips. Trump's roundtable sends shadow NGO network behind Riot Incorporated into panic. So they're starting to basically show who's funding these riots, guys. The Trump administration is digging down, and they're discovering, who's involved. So you really want to see this. All right, so this is Zero Hedge. And President Trump, my full statement at POTUS, Roundtable, Seamus Bruner. It's incredible. You want to watch this because he basically outlines who's involved. All right. Musk says far more than 100 million U.S. taxpayer funds funneled into NGOs, non-government organizations, fueling chaos here in America, and I'm sure around the world as well. So Trump briefed on dark money networks. So, the Antifa, the violence, the protest. Of course, we got George Soros in there. But look at this. Arabella, Warren Buffett. Look at Warren Buffett is put in, a lot of these guys, kind of like that movie Sinners. They have to do it. All right, whoever's in charge. So right now, a lot of these guys are turning towards Trump and trying to do the right thing. They're able to do that now. But with the dark side in charge, like under Biden's administration, that was darkness. That was vampires and witches and warlocks like crazy, guys. Just everything about that administration was a horror show, right? So now we have the angelic realm back. And so a lot of these people are starting to turn back towards the angelic side, the light, but not all of them. So Warren Buffett, 8 million. Ford, Rockefeller. Of course, we know Rockefeller has been involved in this for a long time. Singham, Soros, Tides. So all these multi-billionaires and companies and so forth have been giving to Riot Incorporated, right? So it's been disclosed in this get-together roundtable. Trump said he wants to know names. He wants names, specific names, and they said we can give you that. Wow! So stand by, everybody. We're going to have specific names of people. Will it be Buffett, Warren Buffett himself, or his organization? Of course, he's completely in control, in charge of that. So I'm curious, how he was funding that and how did they fool him into funding, or is he just part of the game? Like, let's destroy America. So these are the things we need to know going forward. And I think it's going to be very revealing. Now, left-wing dark money mega donors, of course, including George Soros, spent $20 million to oppose Trump's National Guard deployment in D.C. I wonder how much money they're dumping into Portland, into Chicago right now to stop these. Basically, I think the ICE agents are also using that as cover to come after darker groups, right? So under the cover of coming after murderers and cartel members and so forth that are here illegally through illegal immigration, I think they're going after some very, very dark people that are ready to cause a lot of problems here in the United States. And these George Soros funded organizations are keeping them funded while they wait for the signal to do their dirty work here in America, right? So I think this is moving in the right direction. Hopefully it happens very quickly. I think it is. Trump's only been there, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So 9 months. He's only been there 9 months, and boy, look at all the stuff he's got done. Now, I think we're getting down to the wire. Within the next, this coming Saturday, so 6 days from now, that's when we have the No Kings demonstrations, and there's supposed to be 2,000 of them all over the country, in Canada and down into Mexico. that's like I think they should just arrest all of them because they're a terrorist organization. It's basically Luciferian organizations that want to take down the good people, the God-loving people of the light, right? And I believe we're getting more grounded. We're getting more centered. We're working better together. And we have all these different splinter groups. We got the Chinese, we got the cartels, and we got the terrorists, and we got the illegal immigrants, and we got a mess, right? But I don't think they're coordinated. The American people are becoming more and more solidified, more and more grounded, and I think that's really going to have a massive effect on them moving forward. I'm very hopeful. I'm very positive, ultimately that we win. There's no question in my mind that we win. I just hope it's not, some catastrophic losses out there, which is obviously potentially there. So we're at war here in America. We know that. Now they want President Trump to, push the military into some of these places. And that way they're going to go, see, we told you. And he's a dictator, and there'll be some people that will get sucked into that false narrative, so we have to be aware that's going to be there. But like I said, there's enough of us that are becoming more grounded, working together more, that we can make a massive difference going forward. And we can very quickly and very easily, I think, in a lot of cases, in most of the little cities that they're going to, try and, cause problems in, I think we very quickly overcome that issue. And then it will just be the big cities. All right. Now, I'm very encouraged now watching the Chicago Police Department. They're looking like Studleys. Right, they're going after the knuckleheads, and you gotta look at that for a long time. Those guys have had their funding cut. Same thing in California, throughout all the big cities. They had their funding cut. They're good sheriffs. They were elected by the people. Were pushed out by Soros funded. Lots of money coming in, and we got Soros sheriffs in a lot of places now. So, and then Soros funded district attorneys and all kind of crazy stuff. So they're the ones that let all these criminals go within hours. It's got to be frustrating for the guys, right? So with President Trump coming in and starting to get their backs a little bit, say, I'm coming in, I'm coming, the cavalry's coming, guys, hold tight, start to push back a little bit. And I think that's what we're seeing now. In some of these places, how much that's going to have an effect, because Chicago's huge, right? Chicago's a huge city, and we're just seeing in that one ICE facility, and we're seeing just in that one ICE facility in Portland, so the city as a whole is huge. Now I've seen people come and support ICE. And they're like rah, rah, rah for ICE when they grab some of these Antifa guys. But then the Antifa and the local dumbed down idiots, leftists that think that America somehow owes them and we're evil because they don't have everything they want, right? So because they don't work and they're not very smart, and they're went to colleges where they learn how to basket weave, and there's no need for it, so, and they're pissed about that. It's like, I spent all this money on education and now I don't have a job, when it's America sucks. And geez. So anyway, you got that crowd, basically, they're violent. So I have concern for people that come out and support. That's good, they support, but these people, they are violent. You see the ICE agents and the police they're in body armor and they have helmets and all that kind of stuff. And then you have normal, good people that come in and rah, rah, rah. And it's like, be careful out there, guys, right? Yes, there's a way to support these guys, but you got to be heads up that these are mentally deranged, violent people, and they have politicians, and they have the media, and they have education system that's like rah, 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 go fight, go start a civil war, right? So these useful idiots in the beginning stages are going to have to be removed. All right. So there'll be, hopefully, like we're starting to see, a lot of these people get charged and put in prison for like 8 years. And then that'll start to settle a lot of those people down. And then there'll be the next wave. So then there will be an activation, I think, of, Antifa, hardcore radicals, and then maybe even, some of the terrorists that are all over the country. Those terrorist cells will get activated. Now, those terrorist cells, when they get activated, it's going to be they will be activated at some point. How many of them will be left? Hopefully the Trump teams are actively seeking them and destroying them and grabbing them up wherever they can find them. I'm sure they're doing that. But we'll see, once they're activated, we'll see across the country massive attacks, and they will be bad, right? Hospitals attacked, schools attacked, planes falling out of the air, being blown up in the air, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And this will probably happen all at once, making 9/11 look like a little child's play game, right? So I know that's part of what they plan. It's absolutely out there, guys. If that gets activated, which I think there's a very strong possibility it will at some point, and how much of that will be left. Hopefully the Trump team moving in like they are right now will be able to stop a lot of that. But you have a massive amount of pressure that's coming from these deep state governors and mayors and so forth. And they're going to give those terrorist cells the capability, which they've already done, to exist in their cities and to activate in their cities. So that's I know that's disturbing, but that's the reality. And for Trump to basically just go, okay, I'm activating the military and I'm hunting these people, there will be massive pushback from the radical liberals. Okay, massive, all over the country. So we're at this point, I don't think we're going to have a civil war, but something like that happened too early, it could trigger something like that. And that's why it hasn't been activated, in my opinion. And I always thought that we would see, and probably that's what we're going to see, is the rioting on a massive scale, which could come on the 15th. Not the 15th, but the 18th. The 15th, we could see some kind of massive, earthquake event. Hopefully it's in an area that's not going to cause a lot of damage. But anyway, on the 18th, that could be where this all kicks off, and it could build from there and just get worse and worse and worse. It's got to happen before we move into winter, right? So the timeline is getting squeezed right now. So we'll probably see something, I think, this month and into next month. So just be heads up, be ready to react to some craziness out there. So that's pretty much what we're looking at now. They're going to continue to fund. They're going to continue to fund these organizations. Now, of course, Doge and with the government shutdown has allowed President Trump to come in and shut down a lot of other stuff that's been funding a lot of this stuff. And the way it gets funded is it goes into some organization, like we're here to help the disadvantaged and help people build businesses, but it gets money laundered through that, and it goes to these organizations that basically are destroying America. All right, so that's one way that Trump could come in and just like go, oh yeah, that's just wasting money. We looked at it, and it's just wasting money. They don't have time to like disclose on every single thing. They already know, across the board who's bad, and so they're basically coming in and knocking some of these out as fast as they can, and exposing like the mortgage fraud, Letitia James, mortgage fraud. There'll be more of that going forward. A lot of these Democrats have used that to basically money launder and keep their organizations going. They obviously were paying her to go after Trump in some way, somehow, giving her breaks, right? So that's one of the ways they do it. Another one, they do a book deal. No one likes them, yet they sell, like Obama, like tens of millions of dollars worth of books. And it's like, who's read any of those books? Like crickets, So it's basically, there's lots of different ways they money launder to these people that, do stuff for them, do stuff for the deep state, right? So Vance says troops to be paid with tariff revenue. So you see how this may have been a bigger picture for them to know that this government shutdown by the Democrats and the deep state was going to happen at some point. So they started really ramping up the tariffs so they could have money to basically fund the real essential stuff, which is the military, right? So the Democrats obviously didn't want to fund the military because the military is going to be used against them. All right. So we have a lot of races. We have one in Virginia and we have one in New Jersey. They're, pretty much the deep state has pumped so much money into these races. The deep state little puppets that they have are being exposed. A lot of people are seeing that. I don't think they're going to get elected. I think it's going to look like they're winning all the way up until, and this is the best way to do a political run. You don't want to be super famous and, high up in the early stages. You want to just kind of narrow it down. And that's what I think these races are doing. I think we're going to see the Republicans win in both of these races. So remains to be seen, because the deep state bubbas are pulling out all the stops. So this is the Virginia race. So let's check this one out.
What do you make of Earl Sears's claim that you're fine with, quote, putting men in girls' locker rooms?
All right. So that's a simple question, right? And this is what got Republicans in office 8 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever it was. So they were putting, transgenders or boys that identified as girls, so they go in and rape girls into girls' bathrooms, and that was happening. And so the people of Virginia was like, oh no, that's bullshit. So they elected a Republican. So now this former CIA case officer, or I don't know if she may have been, did something else for the CIA, but she's former CIA, strange, and she's in Virginia, and CIA headquarters in Virginia, right? So she's running for governor, and she's being exposed for being a complete word salad idiot, worse than Kamala. Listen to this response.
The reality is that the federal government has the ability to change the letter of the law, right? Through Congress, through the Senate, bills go to the president's desk.
So there's no yes or no. Yes, I support boys going into girls' bathrooms. Or no, I don't support that. I will never allow that, and I will work to stop that. Listen to this word salad, complete BS, because they can't answer that, because their deep state puppet masters won't allow that, because they're really trying to push this transgender and destroying the nuclear family.
Right now, what we are seeing is there are differences between what is the law of the land under Title IX and what are executive orders put out by the White House. And in circumstances where there are conflicting evidence.
Now, look how long this bullshit goes on. I'm gonna play it all so you can see how absolute stupidity this woman is. Incredible stupidity, right? Just keeps going around and around and around and around on going down all kinds of different places, never coming back and explaining. So for over 2 minutes, she just word salads the hell out of this. Please tell me there's no one in Virginia that's going to vote for this person. We know there will be. The leftists will vote. All she has to do is say her political opponent, who's GOP, is a Trump supporter. And then they'll, oh, we're voting for you. And they don't even care how moronic this woman is, or her connections, her dark connections.
Or conflicting interpretations. The reality is the federal government has to be clear in what is the real guidance available to our schools as it relates to use of locker rooms. The reality is that we have multiple jurisdictions who believe they are following the letter of the law and have their lawyers conveying why. And at the end of the day, we have a president of the United States who is taking away and threatening federal funding. What I think is so egregious is that this is a tool that unfortunately this president continues to use, the threat of federal funding. Congress passed funding. It is not the president's ability. This is, basic Article 1. This is, if you believe in the Constitution, the president doesn't have the ability to just pull back funding. And it isn't just to these public schools. It is to our research institutions. It's for cancer research. It is for funding to conservation programs under USDA.
All right, I think you guys see, I'm not going to punish you. All right, so if you really want to listen to the rest of this garbled garbage from this incredibly corrupt person, you can go listen to it. There's many where they did a debate, and she did a word salad on the debate stage as well. So she is worse than Kamala Harris, right? And that's what the Democrat Party has to give us. So they can't be, straightforward, because let me give, I heard this. How long ago was this? I heard this from an insider. His wife was in way up in Apple, high up in a corporation. How long ago was this? It's been quite some time. I want to say eight years, maybe longer. I don't know. But this guy, I was talking to this guy, probably more like 6 years. 6 years ago, I'll say 6. So I'm talking to this guy, and way incredibly smart guy, right? I'm sure his wife, I did talk to his wife too. So his wife was absolutely incredible as well. So she wanted me to talk to him. And so he's like, I'd love to talk to this guy, So we had a nice conversation. So he confided to me, he said that, she's been invited to super high up corporate get-togethers. And he was there with her. And he said there was top Google people, Apple Corporation, you name it. The top of the top, Amazon, everybody was there. And they had been for a long time wanting people to go gay, right? So they would applaud people that came out and went gay, and they wanted people to do that, right? And he told me, this was, like I said, many years ago. He said, now they want people to go transgender. And I was like, what? 6 years ago, that was like, now it's like we see it all over the place. But he said they were pushing that agenda. So you see how it's a slow creep of this Luciferian tear down the family type stuff, right? So the gay to transgender. So we saw like the Wachowski brothers, became the Wachowski sisters because they fell under this, okay, this is what we want you to do to continue to succeed, right? So, and now they're mentally, they're way out there. They're already messed up. If you look at some of the interviews, they're already like out there. And now they're like just gone. So this is some of the stuff that they push. So these Democrats probably go to these group meetings, right? And they're given their agendas. And this is what we want you to push. We want you to start pushing for children, transgender, all this kind of stuff, and in your school systems and blah, 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 right? So we've seen the Democrats doing that. But I can tell you it was the corporations that were giving their marching orders down to their people way before we started to see it in more current times. So you see how this stuff starts to roll in, right? It starts somewhere up there with the billionaires way behind the scenes, the Luciferian types. And they're like, okay, how do we destroy America? How do we bring in the Luciferian stuff? And that's what they do. It's like, okay, let's ease this in. It was all the way back in, Playboy and Penthouse times, where they wanted to bring the pornography and start to destroy the family through that. And then it's like more and more, and it's just Jeffrey Epstein Island and, P. Diddy and just all these different things. This is all an agenda to destroy the nuclear family, so merit-based income, all these different things. So completely, destroying the mindset of the American. Now, if you look at Russia completely threw that off. Soviet Union was basically the deep state controlling that country. They took it over and were completely controlling it. That's what they want to do here in America. That's what they're trying to do here in America. The Russians basically finally kicked that shit out of there. And now they're back to the nuclear family. Christianity and all that, they tried to do away with the church in the Soviet Union. Just like you worship the government, the communism. And that's what we're seeing from the Democrats now. They hate Christianity. So they're trying to destroy it. All right. So that's a bigger picture of all this. So we can't get these Democrats in there, guys. All you Republicans in all those states, you got to show up. You really got to get involved, and you got to show up. Because a lot of times what happens is we make a big push to get the president and his team in, which we did this time. We did a great job. And then everybody's like, and then they kick back. You can't do it. We're still at war. You can't go take everybody. It's okay. Let's go. Let's go back home and stop the fighting now. No. Then they get ahead, and then they really start to win. They turn everything around that we fought so hard for. And we've been guilty of this, unfortunately, over and over again. So this time we really got to push in these races. There's congressional seats. There's, I think some Senate seats maybe, but definitely those governor seats. And there's some in Pennsylvania, all kind of stuff, guys. So that Northeast corridor up there, we gotta get active, got to get involved. Turn it on. All right. I got this from a guy. I just wanted to read some of these. Really, really nice insight. This is from Edward Snowden on Twitter. And it said, the final warning: the same system that bends clouds can bend thoughts. And I know this because this is how many of us have been attacked. The same signal that kills a storm can kill a man. We're talking about heart. So this is Snowden's leak. Tears the veil from heart. Is not defense, it's domination. The storm above your head is not natural. And if this message disappears, you'll know why, right? The deep state panic is reaching critical levels. Donald J. Trump himself has joined Telegram to bypass the fake news media. He's dropping intel, names, and plans that they never wanted you to find out about. So after defecting to Moscow, Snowden encased himself inside a handmade Faraday cage to block electromagnetic intrusion. Now, I put out quite a few times in LifeWave, we have two patches, the X39, which you normally wear 2 fingers below your belly button, or on the C7 where you reach back and you have that little protrusion back there, that's your C7. You put the X39 there or the X49. So in both those places, they're activating your stem cells, peptides, and all that kind of stuff. So what that's doing is creating a Faraday cage for your body, right? Very, very important. I hope a lot of you guys, I've talked about this for a long time, but if you're not in LifeWave yet, please get in. It's very, very amazing system. It's basically, everybody talks about these med beds. It's a wearable med bed. We have that technology. Some of that technology is here right now. So he described when he was in this Faraday cage, a constant bombardment. Many of us have gotten this, and that's why I wear my Faraday cage. Auditory hallucinations, emotional dissonance, sudden blackouts, all engineered through wave interference. The cage saved his sanity. He warns, if they can reach me, they can reach anyone, and this is true, right? Anyone they see as a threat, or even whole groups. So it talks about HAARP field tests are linked to cell tower arrays and DARPA's trap wire surveillance network. The frequencies are merged with global data tracking, creating an invisible prison around every mind on Earth. Snowden's documents show weather modification is just the public mask. The deeper purpose is full spectrum control. Snowden's files expose that HAARP's ultra-high frequency waves can target the brainstem. So again, another reason to wear those LifeWave patches, inducing instant cardiac arrest or stroke while leaving no forensic trace. So we've seen a lot of people that have had these sudden deaths, heart attacks, right? So this has been used against me. It was not effective. I've talked about this. The victims die naturally. There's no trace of what caused it. Truth tellers vanish. Whistleblowers collapse. The cause is invisible, but the weapon is real. Global mind control grid. NATO and corporate defense networks use the same frequency matrix to destabilize populations and discredit opposition. Frequencies tuned to the Schumann resonance can hijack the brain's natural rhythms, driving confusion, rage, or apathy. Mass protest manipulation, controlled insanity, digital slavery through the air itself. And of course, we know that the vaccination programs are also inserting different stuff into our systems to allow them to do this to us as well, right? All right. Is Robert Davis still alive? Maybe. He hasn't contacted me since he disappeared, but you know, there is that possibility. So maybe he's in the Q program. I don't know. Maybe he's back behind the stage. Maybe he was going to be targeted, or he was targeted. I don't know. There, and Kirsten W. There's so many that have disappeared from the stage. Many different possibilities that maybe they're still there. Maybe they're still helping in some capacity behind the scenes. I don't know. So we'll continue our prayers, of course, for those of us that continue on and continue the fight. To me, it's some days are easy, some days are hard. But for the most part, I'm motivated because I see, consciousness in the future is going to be incredible. The world is going to be incredible. And, I do it for, my family and for my friends and for, my wife is telling me for my soul. Right. So yeah, for that too, really. That's really pretty much the big thing. So we're all soul bros, right? Soul bros and sisters. So, of course, we know we have the dark side trying to vampire us and, steal our energy and so forth. We just have to be in that love frequency vibration. Sometimes that's all you need. But having a little help here and there, is definitely preferable. When you lose your focus a little bit, you got some, you got your bros and broettes, whatever, to help you out. So it's an exciting time, and it's sometimes it's very challenging. It's tough to see people that go away, but people like Charlie Kirk that supposedly went away. I think there are a lot of people like that are behind the scenes. They just go into another program that's out of sight. Maybe they change, their appearance to a great extent, kind of like what Elvis did, kind of like what Jesus did. So he just came to ignite us, and with that God frequency, and he did a really good job. And it still continues to this day. A lot of us are motivated by that, and a lot of us are still in touch with that, and still in touch with him and that frequency. So it's a good vibration. Good vibration. So keep those good vibrations, and those good vibrations are the love vibrations. Meditate, be at peace with yourself and others, and we're going to win. We're winning. And you don't think differently, because then you attract that, right? So it's not so much that you're faking it, that you have that belief. I have a stronger belief that we're going to succeed, and we are succeeding. So the more of us that have that, the more possible, more probable that we're going to have that success. I see it in the future. I see a lot of things in the future. Some of them transpire, some of them don't, as I thought I saw them. Sometimes they come out even better, right? So this or something better, right? Right. All right, guys, stay in love vibration, and I will see you guys next time.